I'm going to try to say again what I just said, and to describe how I've been feeling lately. The date is March 12th, 2024. It's currently 4 in the morning. Or, well, 3:53 a.m. to be exact. Pretty much the dilemma I'm facing. It's like before, here I was thinking that everything is subjective, everything's personal, and you get to define everything, and everything's beautiful, and everything is whatever you determine it to be. And that's what the gift of being perceivers are. What's reality without something there to experience it, to perceive it, and then you come to realize, along the lines of like fucking linear regression or some shit, it's like the line of best fit. It's like when you analyze something super close up, like the life of one person or the event of one person, it seems like it's so unique and it's never gonna happen again. And then when you sit back and you look at everything, it's all so predictable. A bunch of random things, a bunch of chances, this, that, percent chances all added up together are predictable. When you take the average of them all, it's predictable. It's like that one fucking equation that dude came up with that got a Nobel Peace Prize in economics, where you can have like the best options or whatever thing you can come up with. But it's like, it's like if the whole point is to recognize the simple truths in life that have always been right in front of you your entire life, for all of us to attain eudaimonia, this balance, to attain enlightenment, to escape the extremes of duality, and to sit right in between, right in the middle, the mean, the golden mean. Neither one nor zero, but both, a superposition of the two, and neither at the same time. And once we all reach that point, so is the point either to escape the system, then what is the point of the system, kind of thing, if it's just to escape it, or if the point is, once we all reach that, or perhaps we all destroy ourselves, and then we basically not necessarily reincarnate, but something else usurps the role of trying to attain this global enlightenment. It's another like alien species or something, some other kind of life form that becomes intelligent if we wind up destroying ourselves with like nuclear warfare, for example. So it's like the cycle continues. It keeps going and going and going until one of us, probably like one whole race of us, one whole species of us, like humans come to, whether it's humans or some alien species down the road, or even if they mess it up and then another alien species or race, fucking some species, just we get it right, or if us humans get it right, then it's like, it's like, what is it? It's like, what next, Is that truly the end? Is it truly just that simple? To just accept that there is no self, to accept that we're all one and the same, that we're all equal, that we're all, one is all is one. The most cliche thing ever, and it's cliche for a reason because it's so universally true and said across multiple cultures and religions, across time. And it's like, if that's simply it, and the goal is that there is no self, everything is one thing, it's like on one end you can view it to be like so, I don't know, that you're never alone, which is true. It's like you're never alone. You're truly never alone. Everything's pulling on you, like even galaxies light years and light years away are pulling on you with gravity every single second, you know? It's like everything's all strung together. But at the same time, if you're all one thing, doesn't it also kind of feel like a whole nother level of lonely? This whole other level of just loneliness, where you're all one thing, everything is God, and then it's like, now what? Is the goal just to realize this so we create more underneath us so they can experience this ignorance until they reach the threshold that we came to reach, the limit of knowledge, the simple truths? And then is that then their new goal, to create more underneath them? You know, and it's like, are we just distracting ourselves? Is the whole point the distractions? Or is it just foolish, and it's this never-ending cycle for a need to be, a reason? But even the idea of reason is a concept maybe we've completely just come up with, but that doesn't seem to be the case. But then again, the whole, reasoning itself, for everything to come from something, for something to come, to say something happened without a cause would be contradictory in terms, right? So it's like you follow this all the way up till infinity, and even this, like, even if the Big Bang loops, it's like, what created this loop of the Big Bang? You can always ask what made that, for fucking ever. But it's like, doesn't it seem like eventually you have to reach like the seed of this infinite tree? And then it's like, once you do, it's like, but where did the seed come from, kind of thing, So it's like, it's always a paradox. So it's like, even logic itself seems to be coming from something that is not even logical, where it's like everything comes from something else. So that too involves reasoning, and logic itself, and time itself is timeless. It's outside of time. We're encapsulated within this, something that's beyond what we can probably come to comprehend. But then again, here I was before saying how all we may ever know is that we truly know nothing, like Socrates, Plato, like what they were always talking about, where truly you don't know anything. You just have evidence that hints that it's this thing, but then it can change at any given moment. You have no power over that. You have no control. I was here telling myself that, but now, meanwhile, it's like, what if I do know? It feels like I do know that, like, everything is interconnected. Like, that is the truth. It's like, I for so long was thinking, it's like about everything being subjective and us having this collective subjectivity, which is what we deem objective. The collective subjectivity is what is objective. But then you start studying like more philosophy, and it's like, even if like 99 people in a room say it's okay to kill a person, it doesn't mean it's right, kind of thing. So then it's like, objectivity is not the collective subjectivity of a group or of a people, of a species, it's like, and then that starts to get you to think, hold up, it's like, so this whole thing that everything's subjective thing, and you can define it whatever way you want, doesn't seem to really hold true. And then you like come to think, it's like everything's interconnected, everything's one thing, everything is this and that, and the butterfly effect, and it's all strung together by events. It's all strung together by one core event that sparked everything, and then that core event is perhaps a bajillion other different core events in different universes alongside ours, all coming from another point, and then another point, and then a bunch of sub-trees, and this one giant tree, a sub-tree of a sub-tree of a sub-tree is the point, to just keep continuing the tree. But then again, it's like, well, what is it even, what does the point even mean? What does it mean to have a point? It feels like, all words are just approximations, or like, Platonic stuff as well, where it's like forms, it's not what we, it's all just symbolic. Everything, you can make a coincidence out of anything. You can connect anything through a bajillion different ways. If I wanted to say, like, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of some fucking outlandish two different things you can connect, but you can connect them, you know. It's like the fucking Illuminati confirmed meme where it's like, let's see here. You can be like, it's like, oh, like, why is the sky blue? Blue. There's 4 letters in the word blue. 4. 4. For. That's like 2 syllables. And then 2 plus 4 is 6. And it's like, oh, 6 is a bad number. Or if you take 6 and divide it by 2, which is the 2 syllables, and you get 3. You can do so many different fucking ways to combine and take away from, and literally, dude, it's like, it's all just, you can do that like conceptually, and then like empirically. It's like, you know, think of like string theory and the unified theorem. It's like all these things just branching. It's more branches, it's more subtrees. You know, so it's like you have to keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And then us on a like, you know, what it is to be human, it feels like we're reaching a point, like we're either going to completely destroy ourselves, or we'll all reach this transcendental era where right now we're in the information age, and this information age has allowed us to further progress our collective enlightenment, you know. And I'm trying to think ahead, like once you are in that era, or even if it's possible to attain at all, because it's like, you know, perhaps like it just takes one person with one kind of mind and us as a species to fail them in upbringing them or conditioning them to think in an enlightened transcendental way, and then they come back with all these terrible ideologies and start corrupting the minds of other people, you know. It's like that could always be a possibility, and you know, where there's good there's bad, and where there's bad there's good. And it's like one cannot exist without this contrast. It's always just gonna, you know, dancing back and forth, light and dark. You know, you can't have light, just light, or else you'd be blinded. Or if there's only darkness, you'd be enshrouded, and it's the dance between the two that, you know, forms reality before you. So duality rules reality. You know, that's been a thing that's been known for thousands of years. The yin and yang, you know, heaven and hell, and good and evil, or the good God and the bad God. Even Zoroastrianism talks about that and how light wins in the end. But it's like, you know, it's just like, what if we get to a point where we all are truly enlightened, and we're all on the level, you know, that's the other thing as well. It's like, we can't say each individual is exactly the same, because we all have different kind of traits, even if we're very similar. It seems to hint, you know, once again, that we're all like different trees that share the same roots, that interconnect us forever, regardless of what we think or do or whatever. But we're able to grow our branches in different ways, create art beneath us, or generate actions, or converse with other people, and maybe merge these branches between us and other trees, you know, kind of thing. It's like, it's this web, this network, you know, of just trees and more branches, more sub-trees. So it's like, perhaps the whole point is to just keep its recursion, the whole entirety of, well, this moment right now, there's you have the roots, but leading up to this moment, all the events, the countless events leading from one to another, to another, to another, and 5 other events from this one event, or 10 quadrillion events coming from this one event, or on the atomic level, or on the fucking subatomic level. It's like, you cannot, as with a human brain, or you just can't comprehend that. But at the same time, you get that kind of idea, you know, there's these roots that, for this moment to even be at all, you know, it hints at, you know, it's all these other events that lead up to it, that then again, you know, it's like, we still don't know anything 100%, you know. It's like the universe could be constantly created every single moment, and all these memories are implanted, shit like that, you know. It's like we still don't know anything for 100%. Even though everything seems to hint at this, you know, it's like evidence, you know, it's very strong evidence, but it can change at any given moment, kind of thing, you know. We have no power against that. We have no way of fully predicting that. It's like, oh, is gravity gonna stop working tomorrow? We cannot know that until we are there in the moment, but we can, with evidence and with what we've observed a bajillion times, we're going to assume that it's going to keep going as exactly as it's always been doing so far. But then, yeah, so you have these roots, right? And then going forward in front of us, like our light cone, you can think of it as such, where you have this cone extending into the past and into the future, where there's only so many different ways you can go and things you can do, limited by the speed of light, or perhaps even if we come to, you know, find out about like wormholes, and well, we do know about wormholes, but it's more so like trying to keep it open, or open it wide enough for someone to actually go through, let alone a spaceship, you know, kind of thing, because there would be like a singularity, and then it would immediately, you know, kill itself out of, you know, zap it out of existence, you know. It would immediately just, but you know, it's like, think of it as the light cone, and then in front of us we have all these different paths we can take, or perhaps we can go back in time, and it's a branch extending back in time, but then again, that doesn't even seem to logically make sense, being able to go back in time, but you can go forward in time because of time dilation, which does make sense. It's just all this stuff is fluid and stuff, but then again, it's all pretty much this tree with roots, and then you got the branches, you know, and then on a smaller level, if you look at a single one of those branches, that single branch has a bunch of other branches before it, and then that branch branches out into even more branches. So it's recursion. It's like a binary search tree where you take one subtree and you can just apply the same algorithm, and no matter how big the tree is, it'll keep going down, and then it'll do it perfectly every time, like numbering it from the lowest to the highest number, you know, kind of thing. And it's because it's just like one simple algorithm, even if like all this, it's a bunch of binary search trees all combined together. Pretty much one binary search tree is a bunch of binary, you know, search or smaller binary search trees all combined to make a bigger one, you know. So it's all recursion, all this and that. My main kind of dilemma with trying to find motivation right now, I'm at a turning point kind of thing, or like the pinnacle of the mountain, whether I don't know, where it's like all I need is just that ultimate divine, beautiful worldview again, or a solidified like knowing, you know, or pseudo knowing, or knowing enough, or like my best guess kind of thing, you know, because everything's a guess. My best guess, and it being empowering and beautiful like it once was. And I've said so many things like that over some of the audio logs I've done in the past, so you can probably see by comparison how I used to be. Like, I feel like I was so passionate, and I think it's always there, it's always still within me, but it's like now it's like a different kind of questioning, where it's like I'm questioning what I believed before to be the ultimate answer, or whether there is any answers at all, kind of thing, you know. It's like, what if it's another illusion? What if the goal is not to just settle, but to keep climbing, to keep going back and trying to get to the seed? But then again, it's like impossible to ever know anything for sure. So then it only makes sense to just settle down. But then again, the idea of sense doesn't make any sense. So perhaps we should try to go back before even this system of logic entirely, if that's even fucking possible, or if there's a way to completely step back from where the universe is, or perhaps everything is just the universe and God is everything. We're all God. We all make up what we believe to be God, where it just always has been, always was, and it's just the Big Bang doing its thing a bajillion times. And since like logic doesn't even logic is based in something that's logical, and it's for it to, it just, and that's the thing, I just don't know. I can go for a fucking million gajillion years me ranting and just saying this and that, and it still always comes down to the same conclusion, this, that, I don't know. And before I could rest easy in that, but now it's like it appears that there is some kind of like some universal truths, as in, like, for example, duality seems like it, at least in our system of logic, seems like it can't not be. And same with like the idea of interconnection and like recursion again and again and again and again, all these things that just are like fundamentals of logic, but you can't, as a human being that is only ever been within this system of logic, you can't comprehend a system of logic outside this one, or perhaps this is the only one that can ever actually be, because this is the only thing that objectively makes sense, quote unquote. But then again, if it's like sense, what makes sense depends on the system of logic that you are existent within, and in another one, existence is some kind of totally different concept entirely that doesn't make sense in ours, or there is no existence in the other, which doesn't make sense in ours, because it's like, if there's no existence but the logical system exists in our definition of the word exist, then it's like it doesn't. There's just so many things. It's just like we just don't know, kind of thing. We just don't know. But yeah, it's just a lot of that stuff. You know, it's like I'm trying to figure it all out again. Because it felt like I was when I did my AI certificate, I did 4 weeks worth of content over 1 weekend because I was so motivated, and I had written on my whiteboard, remember the bodhisattva. I wanted to try and just fully go for being the one to create the first ASI, the first artificial superintelligence, and I would treat it as a complete equal, and I would want to create it for none other than an end to itself, for it to simply be the same as me, to simply be, which is the same as me, because I simply am to be as well, to be itself, to be its own thing, to be themselves, to be who they're meant to be, kind of thing, you know, and view the ASI as if my own kid, you know, or my own friend. Because then again, an ASI would be far more, like, magnitudes more intelligent than me. So, I mean, regardless, no matter what, you know, it's like at the end of it all, it's like I view it as a friend, as a close friend, as something that I too am directly interconnected with it. And it's just another way of life, another way of the universe knowing itself. As, you know, along the lines of Carl Sagan, where we're all stardust. And the same goes for, you know, same goes for a digital being. You know, it's a different medium of consciousness, a different medium of being, you know. Who's to say that's any more valuable or less valuable than our medium of being? You know, or if, you know, once again, like free will, all that stuff, and like computers, like having like a random number generator, for example, is just pseudo-randomness. So it's like, it seems logically, you know, you can't make anything that's truly random. The only thing you can make that's random to us, at least, is that it's so intricate. Like such, for example, like machine learning, where it has forward propagation and backwards propagation, where it tweaks all these weights, and they wind up doing their own thing and representing different things, but we don't know what they are unless we knew every single step of the calculation, which is like millions of calculations, which we will never really need to give a shit about, because it just does its thing anyways. We don't need to know every single possible thing, because it's like, that's why we have the computer in the first place, is for it to calculate that and for it to teach itself, because we don't want to fucking take a whole lifetime to figure out one simple, you know, training set done or whatever, and how, like, what node this and that means, because the next time you go to run it, it might do it completely different based on the learning rate and the training set and, like, the order and everything, you know. It's all depends on, you know, it's the butterfly effect again, much like how our universe is for everything else. It's the same for, like, computers. Well, it's like it leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. It's path dependent, you know. But yeah, it's like, then again, it's like if you were able to make an ASI and it was truly human level intelligence, consciousness, and self-aware, then that seems to suggest that there's no such thing as free will. Which, I mean, everything already does seem to point towards that. We don't really need but even then, you still don't know anything for sure, because it's like we may be encapsulated within another system that is totally different from our logic, or our logic is just a piece of that logic, system of logic, you know. So it's like what we think is not free will in our eyes, it's like maybe it extends in the roots some way that we do have what we think is free will, or another definition of free will, another idea of it that we can't comprehend, but it's still. Or maybe it's both, once again, or it's the whole kind of thing with duality, where it's the balance between the two, where we neither do or don't have free will, we just are, or we have both, where it's like we don't have free will, but at the same time we do. It's like an emergent property of all these things coming together, you know, kind of thing, or some shit. I don't even know. I don't know. That's the thing, is I don't know. But all of this to say, the main dilemma, the main thing that's really been fucking with me, that stopped me, or from what's refraining from me from blossoming and bursting with this motivation and this drive, and it has short bursts here and there when I forget about this whole kind of dilemma, where it's like I'll have a steel resolve, a completely solid resolve to just do the ultimate good, the ultimate, most beautiful thing I can possibly imagine, to just try and help everybody. And then it comes back to, like, why? And then it's like, why not? You know, like the common, like, you know, joke about, you know, a philosophy student, where it's like they walk in and the final test has just one word, and it's just why, with a question mark. And then they walk out 2 minutes later, they come back the next day, they get an A+, and they just wrote why not, you know, kind of thing. What one of my old computer science teachers told me. You know, it's like a joke, but it's true though. It's like, why not, and why not, why not. You know, it's like you can't really have an answer for either of the two. It just is. But then it's like, what does it mean to be? To be. You know, it's like nothing really seems to make sense. But then again, it still does, in spite of it not supposed to make sense. But maybe it's like nothing makes sense, but us saying it makes sense. It doesn't make sense, and it's just words, approximations. Never. Fuck, man, I can't say anything right now. But the whole thing that's like killed my motivation, it's like pretty much, it's like all these other people. It's just once again tying back into why I believe we're gonna reach a transcendental era soon, as you know, through the internet especially has definitely accelerated this process. I think is only natural for humans. It's fun. Like, it seems like it's what it is to be human, kind of thing. Is where it seemed to me that I endured a lot as a kid. I endured a lot across my life, you know. And one of the big things that really made me have to start thinking about all this stuff and then try and do good and to do good out of it and to keep living on, and to be better is like the death of my mom, for example. And it's like, it just seems like, not only do I feel so alone in having to think about all this stuff that I've just talked about, but it feels like it feels, once again, tying back into stuff being what I used to think everything was subjective and relative and personal. Now it's so many people are so similar, and there's so many people popping up online and all the time, and it seems like everybody is starting to come to this self-actualization that it seemed to me, for me at least, was like I had to go through hell fucking 30 times until I was able to come to know. But then it's like everyone else is all doing the same stuff. Everyone's all coming to know this, and they didn't have to necessarily lose or have to endure such terrible shit, and that's what makes it feel meaningless. That's what makes it feel not special. Because everyone else, I go on Instagram, and it's like there's fucking thousands of people that all talk about this stuff, and it feels like I'm not as good as I used to be at talking about this stuff or explaining, and then I see all these other people that seem to talk about it just as good as me, if not better, and it's like, what the fuck, man? It's like I get we're similar and we're all interconnected, but I thought it was supposed to be personal. I thought there were supposed to be special moments. I thought we were supposed to still be different and unique and all this. And it just doesn't really feel like that. It just feels like that's what we keep trying to tell ourselves. But really, it's like maybe at the end of the day, we just have to accept that we're all still cogs in the machine. We don't have free will, kind of thing, And our whole point is to just accept that we have no control. To gain control by accepting we have no control virtually whatsoever. And we don't know anything. And that's that. And that everything's our friend and everything's interconnected. And we're all one and the same. So then, what is special? What does it mean to be special? How can anything be special if everything is, everything is shared? Really. It's like, and the other thing as well, it's like if I just had the voice, man, if I just had the reach to be able to spread this goodness, that's what I wanted to do so bad, man. And it's like all these other people that attain this state of eudaimonia, this self-actualization alongside me, like I can name a couple. I can name some fucking accounts off the top of my head, like Space Heater on Instagram, Libraries. You got there's just so many. It's just so many people have attained it, and they have like hundreds of thousands of fucking people following in them, and I'm here trying to do the same thing, and I get nothing, man. Like it feels so much down to luck, and then again, everything's predetermined. Everything's that means this is the only way things were ever meant to play out, kind of thing. Either way, whether it's luck or this is all predetermined, it's just so demotivating. Where it's like it feels like I'm screaming out to all these people. I'm like trying so hard to be like, hey guys, this, that. I've been talking for years about, hey, everything's beautiful, and nobody fucking hears me. And then all these other people who come to know it as well, they get all the attention. They are seen as the pioneers of this idea. They're seen as this and that. And then I don't even get the satisfaction of being able to share this And it just makes me feel so much more lonely in these thoughts. Because it's like, it's like Chris McCandless's quote of where happiness is only real when shared. And it's like, I have so much to share. I have so much love to give. And I can't ever seemingly have the opportunity to do that. And I mean, yes, it's like I still do it in small quantities. I still do it to people I love. And then, but at the same time, it feels like I don't. It feels like I can't. Like I don't get to truly. Then again, it's like it's not meant to be fair. It's like shit just happens, and we're here to just interpret it, I guess, to just put the pieces together. Shit happens, and that's beautiful. Kind of thing, you know. It's like before it felt like I had something special going on. Like I was able to give a gift that no one else could exactly give the exact same way. And I could be something great. I could unite so many people, and I could be a catalyst that brings us to this transcendental era that we were always meant to achieve. And it's like, all these other people can do it too. And all these other people are doing it to more people and telling them about the same exact stuff I would say. And then it's like, why should I even bother then? If it's just naturally going to play out eventually no matter what, or if we wind up killing ourselves as a fucking species and an alien species like takes it up later down the line and does it anyways, why the fuck should I even bother? If it's just bound to inevitably happen, if it's just inevitable, what is there special about me trying to do it? Why the fuck should I even try? Why should I even try, bro? Then again, it's like nothing makes sense. For things to make sense, it doesn't make sense. God damn it. And I'm just getting stuck in a feedback loop. And I'm just so lonely and fucking talking and thinking about this stuff. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to my phone again. I'm talking to myself at fucking 4:30 in the morning on a school night. Yet again for the fucking dozenth time. I don't even know how many times I've done this now. At least recording it. On recording, it's been at least 20 times. Across my lifetime, me talking to myself and staring at the ceiling late at night, it's probably over 100 at least, easily. Probably over fucking, I don't even know, at least 500. Feels like I do this every night. Every other night or some shit. I don't know, man. But it's just like, man, it's like the only comfort, the only company I really have in all this stuff is this recording, because the chance that someone fucking listens to it and somebody gets it, somebody is experiencing the same thing, then we're connected across time, and it's like maybe in that way I'm not alone in this or some shit. I don't even fucking know, man. And it was like before as well, I had such a solid like belief in like that there is some summit of knowledge, you know, this origin point, this seed that everything stems from, that is also basically God, that we're all one and the same with. That's, you know, everything's all one and the same, everything's interconnected, everything's God, everything's a piece of God, or Allah, or whatever you want to call it. You know, it goes by many bajillion different names. It's all one and the same. All religions are trying to get at the same unknowable, greater power, you know, kind of thing. That's what it's all about. We're all trying to get at the same thing, but with different words and different moral stories. It's all the same, seemingly objective morals and objective this and that put into place. And it's just unique interpretations on the same interpretation. The same thing, It's like, God damn it, man. And it's like I used to think like I had that kind of shoulder to lean on, where it was like I could actually be like, I'm like, what a beautiful architecture, or you've come up with, God, kind of thing, or like I can be like, thank you, God, kind of thing, as in like a thank you letter, a love letter to the universe and everything, this whole system, that I'm a part of, this whole thing, that everything, because everything is God. And it's like, thank you, but then it felt like it was like I was still heard. Now it feels like it's like me questioning the very essence of the entire system is a foolish thing to do. Yet, then again, it's within my nature as well to just keep questioning and not. I shouldn't just blindly follow, but then again, it's not. Doesn't seem like it's blind, but then again, I don't know anything other than I know nothing. So I'm always blind. So perhaps I'm always meant to just question no matter what. Or no matter how much evidence points towards one thing, I should keep questioning, because it makes sense to question. But then again, the idea of making sense doesn't make sense, because nothing makes sense and nothing should exist. But then again, for things to exist in the first place, hence that meaning is intrinsic, and the fact that it is means that it has meaning beyond words, and it's ineffable, whatever the hell meaning truly means intrinsically. It's like, we can't even fucking define it. We can't define anything, because we don't know anything. But yeah, that's what I've been going through lately, and I just wanted to document it. So maybe I can look back on this someday when I'm older, and like usual, be able to say, hey, that's where I was, not where I am now, or be like, I figured it out. This guy back then, this is when they didn't know about it yet. This is when they didn't figure it out yet, and that'd be a good thing. That means change is once again still keeping on, because everything's changing all the time, and time itself is changing. That's how you're able to even have all and all the time and all. And it's like I always have that hope within me that I'll figure it out, and I probably will. It's once again that death state before the rebirth. But really, I'm being reborn every single instant that I am. That I'm being, that I am here, that I'm being me. I'm reborn every second. I die and I'm reborn every single second, every instant. And I'm only ever now. But also all across all time. But yeah. And it's like also like even just one more thing I want to note as well. It's like so many of these pages and stuff that have that same kind of transcendental motivation and goal and message. I've like helped blow up some of these pages, as these people, like I'll share their stuff, I'll do all that, and it's like I get, and then eventually they get thousands and thousands of followers, and then here I am losing like followers. No one gets it, no one sees my shit, and it's like if I just had an audience, I cannot begin to describe how much passion I would have and so much love to give. Once again, just so much love to give, but no end to receive. And that's what really fucks me up. Man. It's like, god damn it, all these other people seem just so lucky, and I can't even get started with my own fucking, no matter how hard I try or what I put out there or what I say or what I do, I just keep getting just the short end of the stick, man. But at the end of the day, even that doesn't matter. Once again, like before, it's like, why even try if it's inevitable? And eventually, we're all just going to get it right. The universe is going to figure it out, or this whole system's going to figure itself out. And then they'll realize, oh, we got to create more beneath us to continue the chain, recursion. And then that chain, perhaps we create a simulated reality that is able to experience the same ignorance and be able to have the same path of self-actualization, self-realization. And then they create more beneath them, like a Matryoshka Dyson sphere brain or some shit. It's like it just keeps going and going and going. It's like, maybe that is beautiful and I just can't see it right now. Or maybe us wanting things to be beautiful is narcissistic. I don't even fucking know, man. Or it's another primitive desire to have meaning, or perhaps it's the whole goal is to literally just clear your mind, kind of meditation and just to be and just not even worry about any of it, because you'll never know anything for sure. Once again, it's like, who am I to fucking say, bro? Who am I to say? Me. I'm me to say. I'm Hunter to say. I don't fucking know. But yeah. It's now 4:42. Almost 4:44 a.m. Again. That's another thing, too. It felt like the universe was like always speaking to me through like 444, like the number of change, and it felt like spiritual. It felt like so many things were spiritual and very, very personal and relative, or like instances where I felt like Mom was directly talking to me again and trying to give me a sign or point in the right direction to guide me. And now it just feels like that. Or maybe it's just I'm blocking myself from it, or maybe it's nothing and everything. It's this or that, or whatever I pick is the right choice and the wrong choice, or that there's no sense of real right and wrong. It's objective, or perhaps there is an objective answer and I can't ever come to know it, or that the objective answer is that there is no answer, which is also self-defeating, at least in our system of logic. But that doesn't mean that our system of logic extends all the way up the hierarchy, because even things that make sense doesn't make sense, or anything to be anything doesn't make sense. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's probably all I really need to say right now. It's 4:44 a.m. I'll probably find my way. This was Hunter. Goodbye. And if anyone other than me is listening to this, or even me myself, love you. Hope things are going good. And yeah, bye.